special meeting of the Kaufman County Commissioners Court. Appreciate the attendance on a wet, good wet morning. Continue that, not complain, but continue that way for the rest of the week. So thank you for being here. Today is Monday, August 15th, 2016, and we have several items on the agenda before we adjourn into a workshop session to continue discussions on our proposed budget for next year. I have asked Commissioner Shane to give the invocation this morning, and then we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance to both flags. If you are here as a visitor and you have an item on the agenda that you would like to address, please fill out a form, give that to Ms. Hughes, our county clerk, and we'll be glad to hear from you on any item that you wish to address the court on. So if you'll join me now in standing.
Thank you, Val. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we just again always come and thank you first for your many blessings. We just want to thank you for the rain that you sent for our parched earth here. We thank you so much for that, that it will help our farmers and help our people with their yards. And also we want you to bless our court today as we do the business of our great county. We just ask you to bless our first responders and our officers that are on harm's way every day. We just ask you to bring them home safe every evening, and also bring our men and women that's on duty in serving our country, that you bring them home also safe to us. These things we ask in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I'd like to make a special note this morning before we start. Mr. Oldfield has a gentleman here that he wanted me to introduce, and I'm proud to do so, Mr. John Tino. He's with the Messiah tribesman, or he is a Messiah tribesman. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correct. From Eastern Kenya, Africa. He is a pastor of churches, and he is in the tribal region, and he is here today with us. Pastor Tino, are you present?
All right, you won't mind.
Okay. Well, he will be present momentarily, because I know he's here, and so we will we'll go ahead and maybe get ready to begin. Do we have any? I don't have any routine correspondence on anybody else other than just introducing the pastor here with us. And so we'll move right on into the consent agenda. We have several items on the consent agenda. Item A is to discuss and consider approving the renewal of the Savings Maintenance Grant contract between the Office of Attorney General in Kaufman County. B is to discuss and consider renewing agreement with Chris and signing the R13 service agreement for the Savings Grant. C is to discuss and consider approving renewal of the state case registry and local customer service cooperative agreement between the Office of the Attorney General in Kaufman County and adopting an incident response plan. Item D is to consider approving deputation of Eleazar Carrillo Jr. as a reserve deputy in Constable Precinct 3. Item E is to discuss and consider appointing Tiffany Bateman as the executive sponsor of the Kaufman County Wellness Program to replace the Laurie Brown, of course, who's leaving. Item F is to discuss and consider approving the request for Daniel and Brown engineers for the Forney Lake Water Supply Corporation to bore under Lake Ray Hubbard Drive to install a new 16-inch PVC water main. And item G is to discuss accepting funding year continued discretionary grant for the Mental Health Authority Advocate Team and signing the statement of grant award. Does anybody have any questions about any item on the consent agenda?
Yes, I'd like to table item D.
Okay, Commissioner Shane has asked that we table item number D. We'll vote on that here just in a moment, and someone makes a motion. Okay, we have a motion from Commissioner Shane to approve all items other, we'll pull out item D in the table. Do I have a second? Second. Commissioner Rosales seconds the motion. Further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Now we have our guest with us today, and we just introduced you, Brother Tino, and thank you for being in our country and for the work that you're doing. And we didn't have you on the agenda today, but I indicated to Mr. Oldfield that I'd be happy to introduce you, and we appreciate the work that you do and spreading the gospel. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. All righty, item number 3 is to discuss and consider approving the 2016 appraisal roll, and that is in the addendum, and I believe you have the addendum right behind that was sent out Friday afternoon. I guess it's on here. Okay, yeah, it's on the first page, I'm sorry. So this requires a signature of all of the people, all the commissioners. If you so approve, this accepts the appraisal district roll as our official tax roll. And I believe if I can find it here, I think we have a copy of that. Anybody have any questions about that? I'll entertain a motion to accept and approve. Motion from Commissioner Allen. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Phillips. All in favor say aye. Those opposed. We will now move into the addendum contract, or the addendum item, which is over paper, I believe, on your last page. We do have we'll obviously skip through the first part since we've already accomplished that. We have Cameron Sewell here this morning, and who also has asked to speak if necessary to discuss and consider the granting of a Section 381 tax abatement agreement to KLLM Transport Services and ITS, its equipment leasing and maintenance, similar to the recent adoption of a Section 380 agreement with the City of Kaufman dated August 6, 2016, except in the instances that tax revenues for the road and bridge and insurance funds would be exempt from such abatement. So, Mr. Sewell, would you like to come forward and talk a little bit about your project?
Be happy to, Judge.
Okay.
May I approach you?
Yes, right here, right in the.
Commissioner Allen.
Thank you, sir.
Phillips, that one for you. Thank you, sir. I want to give you mine.
Thank you, sir.
What I've given you is actually got some information on my client, KLLM Transport Services LLC. It is part of a larger group that is owned by two brothers.
I'll do that microphone up. We have a little hearing problem sometimes in the back front as well.
Well, I have a hearing problem, but I don't usually have a being heard problem. But I'll speak louder.
Okay.
Anyway, what I want to do is give you a little information about our company. It's owned by the Duff brothers. If you open that first brochure that I gave you, it gives you a quick glance at the size and the nature of the business. We have roughly 10,000 plus employees throughout the country in the various businesses. The second little item that I gave you is Southern Tire Mart, which is one of the key companies within result of that, we ended up at one point acquiring KLM, and then recently, time gets away, August 2013, we acquired FFE Industries. As a result, we operate the largest refrigerated, or second largest refrigerated carrier in the country. KLM, which we're trying to bring to Kaufman, is a nationwide business. It would be probably one of the largest revenue businesses in Kaufman when you look at their overall gross sales. We are asking for an abatement of the tax, or not abatement, refund of the tax attributable to our trucks and trailers nationwide, which will never be in Kaufman. Never say never, but will not be in Kaufman other than traveling down I-20 or up 175. Under the state rules, a county within the state where your principal place of business is located can tax the value of the interstate tractors and trailers. We feel like it's unfair, but that's the rule. And so what we're trying to do is find a location that will work with us and minimize that adverse impact of the business. In return, what we're doing and willing to do, and already started work, as you'll see site plans for the business, is build a building of a little over 10,000 square feet in the business park. It's an office building. I noticed in the paper recently, city passed trucking company. Well, we're not doing trucking from there. It's dedicated services. We will have initially over 35 employees. Our compensation that we will pay to this group will exceed $1.6 million a year. And those people will be going to restaurants in Kaufman. They'll be going to Walmart. They'll be doing other things to enhance value to the city. I've given you, just to show who you are, a copy of the elevation, initial elevation of the building. I've also included in your packet, I'll let you spot that, as well as the design of the building. Questions, don't hesitate to stop and ask me. I've given you 2 sheets. I'll let you look a minute first. Of showing the taxable value that we rendered in Kaufman County for 2016. And it totals a little over $9 million.
Y'all mind this property building this building yourself?
We have a contractor that's going
You're
to
no longer, right?
We will own it. Duff Real Estate, which is part of the Duff Group, you'll see in that brochure, will own it. Duff Real Estate, go back, also owns P.L. Wallace Construction. Who will be doing and has done the design work and is responsible, or was responsible for filing the site plans for the city that have been approved, such that we can start work. One of our problems is we have to have our people in this building before January 1. And that's the reason we asked the court to put this on the agenda quickly. We're prepared to start moving dirt next week if we get this approval. And building this building in 4 months is going to be a task that we think we're up to.
Tell us exactly where the building is going to be located. I know
It'll be in the Kaufman Business Park, right next to the building that's currently called PT Therapy, I think. I submit, will be the nicest looking business in the business park, notwithstanding there are some nice looking businesses out there. Our client has built a number of buildings across the country in the last 7 or 8 years, and you go visit any of the buildings they've built, and you will see the quality that they built.
It's my understanding you're not asking for the abatement on the building, just the rolling stock.
We're not asking for any abatement on any asset that is in Kaufman. I'm not asking for abatement on the building. I'm asking for abatement on the personal property utilized in the building. Just, and my clients feel this tax on their interstate commerce is unfair. That's what we're trying to address, and that I'm not. And as to the county, we're not asking for any abatement, or it's actually a rebate, as to the INS or Esther Road and Bridge. So the request is to just a small portion of the county tax rate. The other thing, though, I included in your packet is if we can make this work, assuming we can be here, you'll see the rendition statement for FFE that we filed in Dallas County for 2016. Most of that equipment will end up being rendered right here in Kaufman, which will be another 5 to 6 million increase over what KLM rendered here for 2016. My objective is to move as much of this revenue to Kaufman. Some of you know me, I've been here for over 15 years, and I think the revenue will be here, not in Dallas. I served on the school board for 9 years in Lancaster. I think schools should have this revenue. And if we're successful in getting it up, as of January 1, we're talking about $200,000 for the school district this year. That there's no rebate, no abatement. And then personally, I will tell you this building is known by my client as Cameron's building. They're building this building here so that I will keep practicing a little bit longer and working with them. And my office, my law office, will be there day one. So I think I've covered most of the pertinent information, but if there's a question, I'd sure be happy to try to answer it.
So, just kind of, this KLM and FFE, Frozen Food Express, they will be the first two companies that you hope to be able to have their trucks and their titles and their value in Kaufman County.
We will, because we control both.
Okay, so
Report the value of that rolling stock here, January 1, if we're in Kaufman, January 1. There are some other trucking companies out there who may want to take advantage of our opportunity and similarly come here. They have as many or more than we have. And that's something I'm going to promote to the county, to the city, assuming we get to go forward. I won't call names because it'd be in the press, and I'd rather not.
The best of the press, all of them.
Well, they got a report. I just wish they had not called it a trucking company coming to Kaufman in the headline, because there aren't trucks. It's an executive office with employees who handle our dedicated services for Tyson and Sanderson Foods.
Sure, they're taking note of your comments.
Out there.
So, I mean, we're not asking for, this is outside our standard agreement. I think everybody knows that. But you're not bringing anything in here that's going to require any kind of infrastructure, construction on the part of the county or the city or whatever. The building itself, but I mean, you're not asking for an abatement on that. All you're doing is that we will have vehicles that travel all over the country, that this will be their home base, so to speak.
That is correct. The titles for those vehicles will be in the file cabinet, either here in Kaufman or in the file cabinet in Jackson, Mississippi. And the value of those titles, final access, will be reported here for all tax purposes. And the only thing we're asking for a break on is the value of that equipment that won't ever show up here.
Right.
As I view it, as a windfall to Kaufman, and it's a help to the company. Plus, bringing the building and the employees is a permanent fixture. We've been leasing in the past for this group. We are committed to building the building, putting it here permanently.
Okay. I visited with Rebecca late Friday afternoon, and I had sent this to Jim Allison, which I believe your firm has been in contact with.
Yes, sir.
To do a review, and Rebecca, I think you felt better perhaps after you saw the contract
I
that
just
was.
want to be very clear that the DA's office has not completed a review on this agreement. It was sent to Jim Allison's office. He completed that legal analysis, basically due to the fact that we had about a week to process it. And so in order to accommodate that and to expedite it, it was sent to Jim Allison's office. So at this point, our office has not completed a review on the agreement.
Okay. We got that back like late Friday afternoon. So when you have a copy of that, that Jim reviewed for us, and because of the time that was the timeline that we had, so they could get started in constructing the building. So comments from anyone?
Working on the woman property.
The building? Absolutely, we can't move it.
He's talking about the road.
Rolling
Rolling stock.
We'll be here as long as we're in the business. We hope to be in business a long time. I've represented this group since 2003, and they've yet to sell the business. We just keep at it. When we started out, in that picture of DCI, what we had was Southern Timeline. We've added all those others, and two others have no right to sell any of these businesses so far in 10 plus years. So yes, we would contemplate this building and business would continue to be required. All within our purpose. The only thing I would remind commissioners is if we're going to be able to do this and get it in place by January 1, we sure need your help to pass this earlier as opposed to later. Anything else?
Questions?
Is it something that we really need to hear from Jim or DA over before we approve it, or could you just?
Jim looked at this last week, I think, had been in contact with their attorney in Austin, and he sent both a red line copy, which you read now, and he would said we could have fixed his, the authority to fix his signature to this. I've talked with Jim a couple of times last week. He was traveling some, but his recommendation is it's ready to go.
There was two copies tonight, one got read later.
Yeah, I think
It's been taken over this morning.
Put out here on the desk.
Again, that's what I'm talking about. The only thing I would make sure of, and we were talking about just the rolling stock. I mean, only say rolling stock, and it's just 18 wheels of tractor.
first and foremost.
It's not lowers, not pickups, not cars, not, because we're gonna cut those things down to 50. Individual cars and pickups that's attached to your name, we're gonna make sure that
If we have here, any equipment we have here, other than tractors and trailers, will be rendered here. We actually don't have it here, and don't contemplate. The only cars and trucks are those of the employees who will be here. I don't even think, Mr. Woods, may I ask a question? Sure. Do you have a company vehicle, Brandon?
No, sir, I do not. I drive a personal vehicle.
Brandon Woods is here this morning. He's our director of dedicated services. He doesn't even have a company vehicle, so none of these other employees will have a company vehicle.
Correct.
And my car is not a company vehicle.
No, I'm just,
But everything we have, other than, you question what is the definition of 18-wheeler, but everything we have, other than tractors and trailers used for revenue equipment, will be taxed at the full rate of Kaufman County.
I guess the only other thing that, it's a pretty big company. I guess my biggest question would be if something changes in midstream, all of a sudden, you buy land somewhere here and there starts to be rolling stock here, I guess. It would be my question of what we do.
Well, obviously, if.
I'm not saying that's what you're trying to do, I'm just saying,
No, but let me
because
address it.
you pass all the other truck, I mean, we won't mention them. And they do have, most of them, they have anywhere from 50 to 100 trucks and trailers sitting there all the time.
We've got over, both companies together, 3,000
No,
tractors and 4,000 trailers. We don't want them sitting anywhere because they don't make money. But let's say that 5 years from now, we decided to build a big terminal somewhere when they're discouraged. That's just more revenue. But it won't be in the business park. It won't be in the business
Well,
park.
we did enough room for it.
No. We can, if you look at the design,
So we'll be limited to 100% to this location.
Are you asking me?
Yes, asking one of y'all.
But honestly, we did not review the contract, so
Okay.
I
I mean,
apologize for that, I'm just
That'd be
being
wrong.
handed.
Okay, it does state that in there somewhere that it is just limited to this location.
if you look at the site, yes, the 80%, yes, is just to, under the law, is just to this address.
Okay.
But if you look at the site plan,
I see it.
there's no room for a truck.
Oh, no, I didn't. But this, I don't know what the contract is.
Right.
Because it's elected.
I understand. I understand, and I read them sometimes, I don't know what they say.
Yeah, and if you don't know,
I understand. But it is limited to just the tractors and trailers, period. There's no other exception, and we are paying the road and bridge and INS tax attributable to the tractors and trailers, which otherwise would not be taxed here.
And this appraised value here shows the current address as 225 Metro Drive in Cherry.
That's correct.
That's where y'all office is
We're
now.
leasing there now, our space is totally inadequate. We've got 5,000 square feet, and we'll get ready to build 10,000.
How long have y'all been there?
A year?
Current location, it's our second location in Terrell, so current location, we've been there right at a year. Yes, sir.
And this taxable value on it is for 2016.
Yes, sir.
And is there abatement on this?
No.
Now?
No.
No abatement.
We filed 2016 because it was too late once we started dealing with the Dallas County to move it and work out an arrangement for a permanent building in 2016.
You, I believe, indicated you looked at other places in Kaufman County.
We have a location
Extensively.
in Elmo that is available to us. The effective tax rate there right now would be about $1.67 versus $2.83 in Kaufman, in the city of Kaufman. I don't want to office in Elmo. With all due respect to Elmo, I'd rather be here. And would prefer that the permanent facility be here. The infrastructure here is better. Restaurants are here are much more convenient to our employees. We think the employees would be happier here.
Other questions?
Make sure that council gets it right.
Well, that's what I'm going to suggest. If, obviously, the DA's office, this came about last week. And it wasn't that you guys just dropped in here and said, you know, we've got to have this done. We've been looking. One of the things I believe the court would do would be to approve this subject to final review by the district attorney's office. Would that be agreeable?
Are you saying go ahead and approve it and subject to ours?
Subject to your final review.
I guess what my question would be, what if our final review brings up some issues, would that remove the?
Come back next week, I guess, on the agenda again for next Monday, the 22nd.
We certainly would be glad to work with them on an amendment, just as the lawyer in Austin that has worked with your counsel, my son, who's done a number of his 381 agreements. And he's very similar to the ones he has done on several huge wind farms in West Texas. And Mr. Allen apparently is quite qualified to do these, and speaks on around the state, so we're going to abide by it. In fact, I think we gave him all the changes that he asked for. What we started with was the agreement that has been agreed to by the city, and it made the modifications that he asked for. And of course, changed it vis-a-vis the fact that we're not asking for anything with respect to INS on the group. But our time is of the essence to us.
In my discussion with Jim Allison, he actually helped write this law. So I think he's pretty familiar with it.
David said he understood what needed to be there, and they agreed to the changes.
And Judge, we are happy to review that this week. I just want to make clear, we're happy to review that and work with Mr. Sewell and anybody that has any questions. We are happy to do it. I've been gone the last 2 weeks, and so we're happy to do that this week.
I think at this point in time, though, my main concern was just the deviation from our standard policy. So if the court could provide us with some type of authority in your motion today to go beyond that for that 80% over 10 years, then that would help our analysis of it, because usually if it's a deviation, then that's an issue for us.
I think that same policy also says something in unique circumstances or special
Which we would ask
circumstances.
the court to find today so that we have authority from you guys.
Or special companies or something like this.
Your Honor, Judge,
Yes.
I have a hard time, I go to court, so as Your Honor.
I understand.
I would point out that this is a Section 381 agreement, and as best we can tell, Kaufman does not have a policy on 381s, only on 312. And that's the reason a lot of counties use this. It's broader than what you can do with 312. It's more simpler to pass and approve. And so, as I say, I don't think there is a policy in Kaufman that applies to 381.
That's exactly right. That's another thing that Mr. Allison pointed out, that we do need to update our policy to include the 381s, but there's nothing there at this point in time. It'll take a little time to develop that too.
Anything further from me? So, yeah, do you have any other questions?
Well, personally, I think it's, and I want it to be completely legal. That's the reason I sent it to Jim, because the DA's office is a lot of activity going on now, and I didn't want to burden them with something else that wasn't any lack of confidence. But you've heard the request from the company that wants to locate here. I guess probably would be one of the new, probably the very first commercial development located on the bypass. I think with more coming in the very near future, from what I understand. So I'm open to whatever the court would like to do, subject to what our district attorney's office feels comfortable with.
Your Honor, if I may, Jim Allison's reviewed it, so technically you've had an attorney review it, and you've had counsel provided to you. And I would just ask if you're ready to vote on the terms today, that you do that versus adding the subject to it. You're ready to review it?
We're not trying to, I guess what Rebecca's trying to state, and she stated it well, not trying to restate her, but some of you all are asking the district attorney's office this morning questions, and we just wanted to be sure that Judge Wood certainly had capable counsel, Jim Allison, review this and has done the due diligence there. We just are not able to answer some of those questions that you all had this morning. I apologize, I've been out of the office on personal vacation leave for the past 2 weeks, and so I'm just back in this morning. And so the DA's office was not able to fully review and do what Mr. Allison was able to perform. And so we're certainly glad to review it, respond to any questions, or do anything that's required of us this week. We just want to make sure that as you're asking us direct questions, we may not have the answer this morning, but that doesn't mean that that this has been reviewed by an attorney, and Mr. Allison is certainly a very capable attorney And so it was not presented this morning without, legal review. He's just not here to answer those questions, I guess, is what the real issue is. And that's what we just want to make clear, that it's not like a document was presented that somebody, an attorney didn't review. We just don't know the answer to some of those questions. We will certainly look at this week in detail. I just want to make sure that you're aware of it. Mr. Allison certainly did review it, and he's an experienced, capable attorney, so not to leave the impression that it wasn't reviewed.
Sure.
Is the last one with the red edition, is that the one you can't look at?
That's the one that the red lines were changed, and then you should have a copy of the clean document that was clipped to the first one. The first one.
You talking about the one the city signed?
No, did you not find one at your table, in your seat?
I have one here that's redlined. I have 3 copies. One of them is redlined, and the other 2.
The one that was redlined is showing what was changed by the request of Jim. And then there should have been one that, Annabelle, that was clipped to it with a paper clip, and it was on the top.
It is.
Yeah, and it's dated on the back, I believe. Got 8 pages to it. Got several signatures that are required.
9 pages.
Yeah, this, at any rate, it takes the changes that were made by the red line document and puts it into a final document. The red line changes were the changes that Jim asked me to make. I've got a copy here if you've not been able.
Well, I've got, that's confusing. I've got 3 copies. 2 of them have 9 pages. One of them has 8. And one of them that has 8 is signed by the city of Kaufman.
That is the 380 agreement that Kaufman, the city of Kaufman passed last week. Yeah.
Take it out.
Yeah. So I sent that.
Now we're down to 2. One
Yeah.
red line and one without.
The reason I sent that one was just not to confuse, just to see what the city had agreed to.
And the cities, says that they have a 10-year abatement.
I think that's correct.
But the counties is gonna be permanent,
No,
10 years.
it's 10 years as well.
Is the county's refund agreement in 10 years?
Yes, sir.
Like the cities?
Yes, sir. We felt like that was the maximum period that was allowed.
Is that indeed, do we know what the law is?
Are you saying the maximum period allowed for the abatement?
According to state law or
Under chapter.
on the chapter 380?
Under 312, 10 years is the max. It is unclear as whether or not that 10-year max applies to 380 and 381 agreements. But we felt it was not appropriate to ask the county to go further than the 312 within the amount. So we limited it to 10 years. There are arguments and there are scholars out there who say, no, you can do a 381 with infinite 20 years. And in fact, some counties have. I think my son has obtained that from some of the counties of West Texas with these large inequalities. But we just didn't think it was appropriate to ask you to do something here that you would not have done under 312.
And they're doing the same thing in the city.
Except the ours is called 381, Rhode Island 380.
Same statute, but one in cities, one for counties. Otherwise, they're the same.
So that was my question. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I have a motion from anyone.
I'll make the motion that we approve this. We need the GADs come back with an amendment next Monday. Do that?
If there are any, will that be acceptable to you?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, absolutely.
All right, so we have a motion on the table from Commissioner Allen that we approve the document as printed, and give our DA's office the time to review it, and we will be in contact with the company if they have a problem, and we would revisit this at our meeting on the 22nd. That's the motion. Okay, do I have a
Revisit the correct, incorrect.
revisit any changes?
Or can fully reject it with that thing.
Review or revise.
So basically, I guess, almost, one saying we can't approve it.
Well,
Say, are we saying we're not gonna approve it till next
unless
Monday?
there's something pops up, something should come up as an issue.
So would it be better just to say, let the attorney's office review it, say it's okay, then we say, okay, next Monday?
Well, I don't know, because Jim Allis has already looked at it and pretty well said.
I think that's what their belief is that an attorney who is experienced with it has approved it, they just didn't have
Second
time.
his motion.
All right, we have a second from Commissioner Phillips. Do we have further discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed? Thank you very much. Got it. We're ready to see dirt.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Start moving.
We'll start moving dirt.
Okay. All right, the next item is, on the addendum to the meeting is to discuss and consider purchasing 5 2016 Chevy Tahoes in the amount of $43,252 each, utilizing the buy board contract number 430-13 for the Kaufman County Sheriff's Department. Lisa?
Yes, sir. We purchased just about all of the vehicles from the buy board for the sheriff's department due to the fact that they come partially loaded with the equipment that they need. It tends to be a cost savings to do it this way rather than having to purchase vehicles and send them out to be outfitted. We found out in the past on some of the hospital's vehicles. So, and I think, are we trying to take that out of this year's budget and get
Yes,
that?
I believe Karen has worked, or is working on a line item transfer to make sure the funds are there.
Yes, sir, I had emailed that, to you, and then KW cleaned it up when we found some other issues, but there was enough money to move out of the vacant positions to help buy this for this year and save it off of next year's budget.
And these are 2016 models.
Correct.
He said that the trucks we couldn't get. So this is the replacement what we passed before. The trucks.
We approved purchases of trucks prior to this, and we purchased those.
No, we didn't approve any trucks. We talked about purchasing trucks for this next new budget. We talked about
Next year.
Right. But the deal with the trucks is they're not pursuit ready. They won't, we wind up talking to GMC, especially utility, they'll do everything but high speed. And we got that at the Chief Deputy's Conference, and I talked to Chevrolet herself. And in small print, what I gave it to the judge, it said we can't use it for high speed, so we can't put our deputies on the road.
And the issue is a liability issue. If you
Exactly.
have someone gets injured in there in a high-speed chase, that could be.
They're not pursuit ready, and we take the liability of that. I'd love to do it, I wish they were, but it saves us about 7,000 a vehicle.
What about looking at some other vehicles, like the Dodge Charger or
The
something?
cars never work for every Dodge we've had before to give us problems. The cars will not hold up in the county. We've been down there, I've talked to everybody that has these Fords. Henderson County's got 9 of them, they're trying to get rid of all 9 of them.
What
The
they-
body structure's not working on this county
On
road.
the, was it Expedition?
Whatever.
Whatever the
They used to work real good for us, the Crown Vic was tough, but they don't make them anymore.
Well,
The other cars did not work.
He had brought up the issue, because when we first started looking into the Tahoes, they were more expensive. They had even went up from last year. And so he had started kind of investigating maybe an alternate vehicle, which was on by board or that sort of, program. And, he had talked with other counties that had tried to implement that, and they just were not holding up, so.
And that's the problem. I wish I didn't have to spend that money. I wish we didn't have to go, but we gotta have vehicles. And right now, they're the only vehicle that's working.
We hit point A to point B somehow.
Yes.
The cameras are not included in this price, and the sheriff has offered to use some of his funding to buy the cameras, and it's right under 20,000. So it has saved us some money that we took as well.
And that's on Mondays.
How much camera?
You really want me to get in the
No, I'm not.
I'm not real happy in it. The camera system, we've gone with federal, y'all seen us put federal out here. Federal decided to stop supporting their, getting out of cameras. So now we're going with, Provision, which you'll see that on the agenda. They're the same one you'll see our body night. As you see all our deputies wearing out the body cams and all that. Same company that have been in business a while. Federal decided to drop the ball and leave us. So now we're in the process of trying to, over the years, we're going to get rid of other things.
I mean, what these do, what last year.
Everybody else is buying them, but federal was just, that wasn't part of my deal, and it happened, it's over with, we just gotta get to it. So when they go out, same thing as the door stuff coming up too, technology, people try to get out from supporting it, and you gotta move on, once you get into it, I hate to say it.
What do you think, DM or Ford, just get in the business, have a camera in it? You know, I mean, they do, I mean, you know, but not for that,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You would think. Okay, thank you.
No, thank y'all.
Yeah.
I wish I could give a better price.
Other questions?
Is this gonna affect our upcoming budget?
How do you mean, sir?
Because this is coming from a line item transfer from salaries, right?
Mhm.
Position that you haven't filled
Yeah.
this year.
The vacancies that I think are in all communication jail and.
In this budget that we haven't seen yet, that we'll get to review here in a few minutes, I guess. Does that new budget reflect the rollover or the money from the sheriff's department and all the others?
I guess what he's saying is anything that comes back to the general budget.
What they
that he
don't
would have
spend goes back to the general fund. It doesn't roll over like y'all's funds do.
That's what I'm saying. Does our new budget reflect the rollover of this employee money or not? If we spend this here today, right now, and it comes from his employee line item, is the new budget considering that money rolling over, or have you already deducted that from this budget?
I deducted it because originally they had asked for 10 vehicles. I thought I might have enough money to buy 4, and then when we did the calculations of what was left in the budget in those line items because of the vacancies, we had extra to buy 1 more and a little left in case something else happened for emergency repair or something. So the line item's not gonna be for the whole amount, for them to just spend in a line item, it'll just be for the vehicles. And it'll be in the, under the capital outlay for county vehicles. It won't be really in their budget, it'll be coming away from their budget.
Isn't there like 300,000 in vehicles, capital outlay for vehicles next year in this budget?
Yes, sir, there is. That's why instead of financing 10, we only talking about buying 5 and buying 5 this year just to save that money out of the new budget.
Well, that was my question. If the new budget reflected that money rolling over to the general fund that we would have, and if this is going to subtract from that, or if you've already deducted that amount.
It's already been deducted.
It's already been
Right,
deducted.
that's what I was.
Yes, sir.
We plan on buying
Misunderstood.
5 new ones next year, later in the year.
Okay.
And they may be higher, I mean, the 2016 went up a bunch, 2017, we don't have any.
I hope you're right.
Let's be optimistic. I hope they are.
The only thing is, we have to have them in place by September 30th, or they'll be charged to the new budget.
That's the reason we're trying to get them.
In place or encumbered? I mean, do they have to be delivered here by then or just encumbered?
Be delivered, they have to be in place.
I believe that's not a problem talking to them and all equipment, so they've got it there. They're just waiting for us to say yes or no.
No, but
They will come along.
they wanted us to make sure we got it quickly.
Yeah, because a lot of people are doing what we're doing. They're at the end of the budget year and they say, well, we got a little money we can replace the vehicles with.
When they show up, they're fully equipped. Judge, the only thing we have to do is put the radios and we take care of that ourselves.
Yeah,
Put the
and,
stars on.
and the
they're ready.
camera, and as Karen said, the sheriff is gonna pay for the cameras out of his state seizure money, I believe.
And that also, but what we'll do is we'll pay for the cameras and we'll ship them down there to the people that take care of that and they put it all in for us.
Okay.
That's in the price, and then when they deliver them, we put the stars on the radio. We put them on, sure, you can take the other ones off and give them to her and move on.
Okay.
One good thing, we'll be paying for them and not financing them, so we won't have to incur a lot of. Yes, sir.
Any other questions? We have a motion to, on this particular item. Commissioner Phillips makes the motion. Do we have a second? Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. Further discussion, all in favor say aye. Those opposed. Item number 3 is to discuss and consider Kaufman County Buildings access control to the carry doors, which is in critical phase. And I believe George has been working on this, and Chief Deputy Beavers, I think you are aware of this issue, I think so.
Yes, sir.
This was brought to my attention Friday morning, that it was 911 that we need this taken care of immediately, because apparently, the way it's been explained to me, if we go into some kind of, power failure, that all the doors could fail and be left wide open. So this requires immediate attention.
What all doors are this stuff?
He's talking about throughout the county, I believe.
My understanding throughout the county, this company is no more support, nothing. So they've been out there, I learned this Friday also, with our doors out there on our admin side, and then the communication, so that's why they're trying to get this updated and get this back going, because we're going to change cards for all our employees also.
So that's all the cards like?
Yes, sir.
Funding for this would come out of the courthouse security funds as well as the sub-courthouse security funds, so it's not coming out of the general fund. And we have ample money in those two funds to cover it.
And you're saying if we lose power, they won't lock or they won't unlock?
That's what he's saying. I don't know the words, don't give me into that. But I know we've had a problem before over here, and this is, I think, what brought it up when we lost electricity. The doors lined up, being open in the courthouse.
So how's this new door gonna be different? Is it
It works on
gonna have
different technology.
Different technology plus the
what
different
happens
support.
if electricity goes off, won't you still have
Because-
electricity? going?
No, they do some backup stuff with it, kind of like we do with the 911 center.
You got a generator on the door?
No,
Or a battery.
a battery type, kind of like a computer. They got 911, they got a big battery that runs everything and keeps it for a long period of time. And then my understanding is technology will also send a message to whoever they want to go to, when it's getting low or whatever, that we have a long term, they'll have to be up there to secure stuff.
And I've raised all kinds of things, because I said, hey, this is a tax rate. And they make the difference is when you go down.
Here's the man, come on up here. I'll let him explain it all. There you go. See that look?
And I didn't even need badge to get in if it was unlocked. Anybody could walk in.
Yeah, I brought it up, well, I brought it up a year ago, because I had a problem over there, I said, hey, this didn't work very well.
So in 2004, when we had the shootings in Tyler, we went out to bid for security, cameras, access control, and so on. There were two respondents, Guardian Security and Simplex Granite. And Guardian at the time sold carry doors. At the time, it was a great product, it served us well, but the hardware platform and the computers have outlived the software. It's, we can either replace carry doors or we can buy it. That's your choice. Keeping what we have is not a choice. So we can do what's on that agenda, or we can, find something else. But next time the power's out, just be ready to come up and key lock the doors.
George, are we in a current contract with Guardian to provide carry doors, or?
No, that was in 2004. They were the winning bidder. We went out to bid. It was, two respondents were Guardian and Simplex Granite.
Okay, so today are you asking them to?
Today it's time to replace it.
Okay, so you're looking to bid that out?
No, we have a quote from Carroll Alarm,
And the product Terrell Alarm offers is in our sub-courthouse in Terrell. Folks are pretty happy with it. It's in Terrell ISD. It's in Trinity Valley Electric. It's used quite a bit across the county. It also works with the doors we have at the DLC. So the whole Kaufman area will be on a same platform, one key. So that's pretty much it.
What's the price?
29.
29,000.
And it's courthouse security, it doesn't come out of general fund, so.
I thought we had to see anybody on the about that.
We can do it, like,
Legislate.
25 is Commissioner Court.
Yeah, he's approving.
Is that coming out of that courthouse security fund?
yes.
It'll come out of both security funds, Commissioner. It'll come out of both, Commissioner Phillips, it'll come out of both security funds, one that's just the courthouse, one, and the other fund is the sub-courthouses. So it'll be, that invoice will be split, yes, sir.
Yeah, because they,
Well, we're not in sub-quarter, his quote does not include any sub-quarters, it's Kaufman, it includes everything in Kaufman.
What about sub-courthouse?
So that includes the
what
one.
about the other part?
Well, we have no control over those funds, we can certainly, do that as well, Terrell's done. Terrell's done. So we're looking at Corning, and we're looking at, yeah. Precinct 1 will be done, because they're part of that South Campus. So you're looking at 2 sub-quarters. Now, if you want to include that
The
in
man
your
just keeps
security,
staying off, the man already does that, already complaining that.
Yes, you have.
All the time.
I mean, it's up to you, I mean, we don't control those funds, so
Well,
if you want to.
I don't either.
Commissioner's Court controls these funds.
Okay, so we can,
That's,
we can add
that's
that in.
security. That's security, not technology. Okay? There's separate funds, so it's confusing.
I thought it was problem.
We don't, we want to fix our sub-courthouse.
Well, I would think, could you maybe come back next week with a quote for a new quote for including the,
Well, we can add those two, they won't be that much, but I think we really need to move forward on what we.
well, I mean, we could approve these today.
Okay, today. So, we can tell approve them.
Yeah, and then we could maybe come back with another agenda item for Monday to do the Kemp sub-courthouse as well as the Corning sub-courthouse.
Okay, then you prepare a little sheet that gives the amount of both of those security funds, so that way you have something to look at, you know how much money we have in both of those.
We also need to watch that $50,000 amount, and make sure that there's other bids that are coming in, and keep it out. Otherwise,
You can bid it, we're good. You don't mind waiting, we're fine, you can do that.
No, but do you think adding those other two would add an additional 20,000?
Oh, no, that's okay.
Then it shouldn't be an issue if that's not going to push it over that 50,000 threshold.
On sport groups.
You need a motion for that.
Yes, we do.
I'll make that motion.
A motion from Commissioner Allen, do I have a second?
I'm sorry, you're doing a motion to enter into a contract with Terrell Alarm to replace Kaufman County building access control doors, security doors?
It's not a contract, it's just, we're vital.
Okay, motion to purchase.
approve purchase.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, it's the wording that's,
Yeah, the wording is Kaufman County building access control to replace carry doors.
That was the wording that was sent over, I believe, that we included, so.
We have to carry doors, so we're gonna.
And the money comes out of security funds also.
We're gonna have all that in there. She just wrote it as motion to approve.
No, I'm going to do a motion to purchase the Kaufman County building access control doors.
Purchase, security. just making sure we get the right funds in there and with the company that we're buying it from.
Okay, so we just use that, get you where you need to be. Okay, Commissioner, did you, you made that motion, Brad? Commissioner Shane, a second to the motion, so do we have further discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed? Okay, thank you very much. I believe this concludes the regular, item, on the agenda for today. I need a motion to adjourn into a special meeting and enter into a workshop. We'll take a break while we do that, and then we'll move down to the table here in the front, so we're a little closer to everybody. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Phillips makes that motion. Do we have a second? Commissioner Allen seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed? Thank you very much. We'll start again here in just a moment.